keep getting comments about using AI. I'm not using AI because it's trendy, and I'm not using it to write for me. And I'm definitely not using it because I think it's some shortcut to content creation. I am using it because it's the first tool I found that actually lets me finish the things that I've been carrying around in my head for years. And before you pass judgment, please, please watch the whole thing. Watch this whole thing. Because this isn't about hype and it's not about fear. And it's about creative survival. When I moved to this new town, I did what I always do. I tried to start a D&D game. I wanted something raw, dangerous, something that felt alive, not nostalgia, a world where decisions matter and danger is always in the room with you. I pitched the kind of campaign I've ran for years. Gritty, slow, character-driven. People got excited. They nodded. They smiled. And they listened. But when we started making characters, they wanted to play this or that, and they wanted to min-max. When I told them that there was no short rest or long rest, and they can't just spam a cantrip, they were lost. They didn't understand. They wanted superheroes in chainmail. Like the idea made sense to them, but the weight of it didn't. That's when I realized it's not that I've fallen behind. It's that the baseline expectation of what D&D is has shifted. People show up expecting balance and builds, not tension and drama. They're here for the fireworks, but not the fire. I wasn't looking for ideas. I've got more than I know what to do with. I was looking for a community, something I could fall into, a space where people still cared about the escape, the immersion, the story. You know, risks, the cost of surviving, the escape from our everyday chaos. So I turned to digital spaces. I started watching lots of YouTube content about D&D. I picked up Baldur's Gate 3, and at first I was in. I thought maybe this would be the thing that made me feel like I was once again part of the D&D world. Act 1 was fine. It looked great. The elements were all there. But pretty soon I realized something was off. I didn't feel immersed. I felt managed. Every beat was scripted. Every path was polished. Go here, then there, do this side quest. But regardless of what you do, they had no real weight, even if they were extremely well written. Every moment was on rails. Unlock the companion scene. It wasn't a world, it was a ride. A really well-lit, really smooth ride. But I wasn't in it. I was just going through it. So then I had a conversation that kind of shook something loose. I was talking to someone I taught how to play D&D years ago. And they're still running a game. The same way I showed them. It's dangerous, it's thoughtful, it's gritty. They looked at me and said, why aren't you running a YouTube channel about Dungeons and Dragons? And honestly, I didn't have a good answer. So I sat down and I outlined a couple of videos just to see what they felt like. This opened the floodgates of what I wanted to say, to talk about, to explore. And in a couple of weeks, I had over 100 topics that I envisioned myself making a great video on. But even then, writing those first few scripts was hell. I knew exactly what I wanted to say, but I kept coming out sideways, too dense, too fast, too much, too heady. Hell, half of them I even didn't understand. So I got one polished, I thought was pretty good, and I gave it to my wife to read. She looked at me and said, what? So I rewrote it, and I got the same damn response. I gave it to a friend, and he said, man, you think faster than you write. You need an entire writing team to help you catch up with yourself. And I thought, yeah, let's just go win the lottery and make that a reality. That's when he told me, try AI, just to organize. I was hesitant. I've seen what AI can and can't do, but I tried it. I fed it my chaos, my scattered notes, half unfinished paragraphs, half drawn ideas, my insanity. And it handed me back something I recognized. Something was clear. Not a new idea, not a replacement, just structure. Just enough signal to finally break through the noise. This isn't new for me. I've always had to fight to communicate. I'm a disabled vet with ADHD and dyslexia. I can hold an entire world in my head, but getting that world onto a piece of paper, that's a knife fight. Back in college, I waited to enroll until spell check and writing assist were built into computer programs because I knew without them, I wouldn't be able to do it. And then I finally went. I ended up studying Chinese history. And I even came up with original thought, legit stuff no one was connecting yet, about dynastic transitions and how they influenced naval warfare and shipping design. But I couldn't get it on the paper in a way that made sense to anyone. My professors were so supportive. But in the end, I burned out trying to express something I knew was valuable. And I've thought a lot about that since. If I had access to this technology back then, I probably wouldn't be here talking about D&D. I'd be teaching. I'd be lecturing about the Song Dynasty or the coastal control of Wu Dai Shi Bo, the 5 dynasties and 10 kingdoms period. But that's not what happened. What happened was years of watching good ideas pile up and go nowhere because I just couldn't get them out. So many people would turn to me and say, hey, you know what? You got great ideas. Write a fantasy novel. And I'd just smile and laugh because I already knew I'd never get past the first paragraph without getting lost in my own brain. So for me, AI gave me no shortcuts, not inspiration, just a hand on the wheel when the brainstorm turned into a flood. I still write everything. I'll say it again. I still write everything. I still world build from the ground up. I still sketch out broken magic systems and tension-driven politics. But now, instead of getting jammed up in the tangle, I can move forward. I can build with momentum instead of confusion. And yeah, I know AI isn't clean. I know what it costs. It chews up power. It drinks water. It eats resources. It's like an early combustion engine. It's fast, it's dirty, and imperfect. You know, I've lived off grid. I know what it means to count every single watt. And that's why I don't use AI casually. I use it because I need it. I don't use it to replace my voice. I use it so I can hear it again. This isn't about looking backwards. It's not trying to recapture some golden age. I'm building forward, but I'm building with weight, with scars, with blood in the dirt. The problem isn't that the game changed. The problem is that it got hollow, that people stopped expecting it to feel like something. I use AI because I still want to show that D&D can still hurt a little. I want the silence after the failed roll to mean something. I want your character to lose a hand in session 3 and have to live with it for the rest of the campaign. AI helps me build those worlds so I can share them because I've already built them in my head. I just need something that could help me bring them to life in a way that other people could follow. Not at the table, but on videos. And that's what this channel is about. Not balance, not build. It's about creating something brutal, something immersive, something worth bleeding for. You know, I hope you challenge my ideas. I hope you post comments. Ask me to explain what I mean. I will always respond. Even if you are snarky, I'll probably respond back a little snarky also. I have over 150 videos I want to make about D&D, and that list is continually climbing. I'm really trying to build a community here because you've heard the call, haven't you? That little voice whispering from the shadows of the dungeon, the one that says, you don't have to play it safe anymore. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be powerful. You just need to be weird enough to crawl in the dark and light a torch anyways. Here in the warren below, the fluffy spawn gather. We are the soft and the sharp, the strange and the brave. We build stories from our own insanity and make legends from 3 hit points in a rope. This is a place for the ones who don't fit, the ones who rolled wrong and laughed anyway, the ones who want more danger, more story, more freedom. So if your dice don't behave, if your party's a mess, if your soul's a little feral, and you still love this game, then come on down. There's always room in the warren. Join the fluffy spawn. Be wild, be soft, be dangerous. And never forget, the dungeon is listening. Let's carry the torch together.